Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. As Donald Trump begins to do things that are convenient, at least for us, I want to say that we certainly should take whatever's owed to us, accept it. And I've seen a shift in Republican conversations over the last 4 years. There's more of a willingness to admit that, no, God damn it, we made America. And they owe. So I'm not sure what that's about, but I do know this. No matter which party, white folk find a way to stay Wyatts. And you would expect that of them. Even Ayo Kimathi sat across from Jake Shields and said, I expect you to go after that blonde chick and try to start a family with her. And I expect a black man to go after that black woman and start a family with her. Now, I wouldn't say that that's the ideal, because ideally race would not matter. Since race matters to whoever can vanish by way of having sex, then I can understand that certain races would try not to vanish. But that's if they believe in such a thing as race anyway. If race must matter, then ideally speaking, yeah, it would be considered okay, but we don't live in an ideal. I mean, many white women prefer white men, many black women, I guess they really can't decide, or they prefer white men and they don't want to admit it. And I think it's the second one. I think many white women I think many black women want a few black men for the bed and a white guy to provide, or just a white guy. And that's what I think many want. I also don't think many of them know what they want. In any case, as Republicans go through all of these motions, and Donald Trump begins to say, well, you're owed certain things and God knows what he's going to do or say that is in our favor next. Let me just remind you of something, black men. Don't let anything that he does give you the impression that you're supposed to turn around and side with them in their conflicts against other groups of people. You see, there's always been the kind of racist that wants to say, well, black people are cold, but I can't stand them damn Arabs, or I can't stand the Mexicans. There've always been those who are cool with us, but they can't stand some other group because of their DNA and because they breathe. They don't really have to do much. Or they'll lie about what it is they don't like. You see, some whites can tolerate you looking different or sounding different, but you cannot look and sound different. And if you look and sound and actually behave differently, they're really going to have a fit. They're going to blow a damn gasket. And they can be easily provoked into an uncontrollable rage by something like that. I've noticed that before. Whites don't even have to be hateful to become afraid and angry when you're darker than them and you speak to them in a language they don't know. Now, I myself have had issues with some people insisting upon using a language that I don't know just because I don't know it. But it didn't have to do with the shade. I don't give a rat's ass what the shade is. How do you expect me to answer you and you won't even teach me the basics of the language and you won't translate what you just said? I'm not supposed to know it. If I knew the language, you wouldn't have used it with me. I've had people like that, no matter the color. So some of what I'm describing to you may not sound like even the real racial bias. I'm telling you, they have that. And egalitarian whites find either one to be offensive But I want you to keep in mind that when the Vietnam War happened, many of us were drafted. And as squadrons of U.S. soldiers were tracking through those rainforests, and loudspeakers were in the jungle broadcasting, "Soul brother, not your war. Soul brother, not your war." That was the Viet Cong telling the black troops, you ain't got to fight. Don't point a weapon at us and don't shoot at us, and we're going to act like you don't exist. If you just stand still or take cover, we good. Because you ain't the problem. We know you got drafted. Now, the Vietnamese that live in the United States today, you don't have to tell me. They're vastly different. They've lived there. They've developed anti-black sentiment. And even if they haven't, they quickly understand that we're targets. Jeannie Mai, anyone? I don't think she hated Jeezy. She just understood, you know what? She lost a lot of money to that white guy that she married. And she decided, how do I get it back? I think she's going to try to get it back from Jeezy. But I want you guys to keep in mind that despite the fact that many minorities are not our allies, and we're aware of that, that does not mean that we should let anything that any white folk do convince us that we should join them against another group. If Trump is going to be for a genocide in Palestine, he's still a white supremacist. He just doesn't have us in his sights. And we could easily say, okay, listen, you're paying us what you owe us. That's cool. You know, listen, we've got this war going on over there. I'm trying to turn it into Mara Gaza, and they're fighting back. And so I want you to help us out. And that's when we say, listen, you're paying what you owe. And you're admitting that. But we're not going to participate in the genocide, and that's exactly what the hell it is. I mean, don't get it twisted. You and your allies over there owe them too. They owe you an ass whooping. You owe them everything, because that's who the hell y'all have been. It's good that you're paying us what you owe, and you and them are going to sort out what y'all owe, what you owe them. But you're not going to get us to help you oppress anybody else. You can kiss that notion goodbye. Nice doing business with you. But do not ask us to help you against another group of people that may have called us a few names but really didn't do much to us. And some of you are going to jump in the comments and say, but the Arabs did this. Well, what did the Palestinians specifically do? And even then, to be honest with you, there were cases of them also being held in bondage in Africa, but not surviving long in the interior, just like white folk. But that's another topic for another day. I just wanted to remind you to not let anything that anybody does do, especially when they're merely paying back what you owe them anyway, convince you to go and join them against someone else that may have said some things about you, but really is not your enemy and is not a danger to you. I hope that what I said helps. Thanks for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual, non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction of judgment day. As always, thank you for listening and for flying with us here on Jet Black Airways with a phrase Jet Black's also a verb. Keep jetting black with us till the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.